Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Riddle, or welcome back if you're a subscriber. Thank you. Today's topic is going to be about grafting, specifically grafting fruit trees. I'm new to this, and so I've had a huge learning curve. And the learning curve hasn't been so much instructional, it's been more about product. You know, we live in a time that a lot of things that are imported are just not what they are sold to be. Even simple things like grafting tape. So I didn't feel really secure with the grafting thing. You can use a regular, really sharp knife, of course. So I treated myself to this tool, which is professional grafting tool. And what the professional grafting tool does, and I wish they would have made more of these parts out of metal instead of plastic, is that when you go to, in this part here, when you go to cut the graft or the piece of branch that you're going to connect to the other branch, on one direction it'll make a U shape, and then when you reverse it, it makes a pointed shape. So then those two shapes can fit together securely, and the proper cell walls can meet up, so you have a better chance and it's easier to get a graft started. So one shape is like you can see the U shape there, and then when you reverse it, it makes a penetrating shape or a pointed shape, and then those fit together just like a boy and a girl, and that gets the graft started. But you need 9 arms to do it properly, and that's what I really wasn't prepared for. This green grafting tape came with the tool. This green grafting tape worked fantastic. It was like shrink wrap, and it really stuck together very, very well. Well, then I got froggy because I was running low on the green tape, and I thought I need a lot of tape because I'm using this also designing my living willow maze. But this clear tape is garbage. I mean, I'm using it for the maze, it's fine because I can tie it and knot it, but the clear tape doesn't stick together as well. It doesn't have the stickiness as the green tape does. And when I did a bunch of grafts with the clear tape, when I went out there a day or so later, all the tape had unraveled and fallen on the ground, and I lost all my grafts. Now so what you do, or what I did, is after because I don't have the grafting, I guess there's a grafting tar, grafting glue. People use all kinds of stuff. But I cut these twine, this green twine, and after I grafted, I used the twine to secure my grafts, and also it helped to make a barrier so the water couldn't get in, because that's not a good thing for the water, the rainwater, to get in to the tape. It can cause problems. Look at, we're just starting to bloom here. This is a beautiful old apple tree. We also have some really nice blooms on the nectarines and peaches right now. I just love this time of year. This is the apricot. She's just finishing up. Hopefully we're going to get some fruit from her. She was sickly, so I've been experimenting with her. That's a whole nother story. But I'm going to make it out to show you what has happened so far with my grafting. So, experiment A. You can see I got this here. I can't tell if it survived or not. I also sealed the tips because I wasn't sure if it was actually happening or not. So that one, this is where a graft fell off onto the ground and I just lost it. Like I said, it's a big learning curve, but there are some success stories out here. Let me find one before you think I'm a complete fail. Oh! So this is an interesting berry. It's a honeyberry. A lot like a blueberry, but shaped like a little tube. I was checking out to see if it was going to work in our climate or not. I think we get a little hot for it, but it's looking really healthy. and we've got some blooms, which is great. I'm still trying to fall in love with the honeyberry. They compare it to a blueberry, but it's actually really, really tart. So in order to make it work, I think it's going to need a lot of extra sugar, which isn't my thing. But it's strong because it's actually not in the berry family. It's in the honeysuckle family. So where's my other graft? We got this graft going on, and it's showing more potential. We've got a little bit of, looks like, sorry, it's not focusing well. Come on now. Don't know why she's being fussy, this focus. But we've got a little bit of action coming out here and here. Some soft buds coming out here and here. You can see where I've tied it off really tight. But I have one more to show you that's showing even more promise if I can find it. It actually has some flowers on it. If I can figure out where the heck. Not there. So they send you, when they send you the cuttings, they're usually about 6 inches long, and sometimes a little longer, and you can cut them in half and get 2 for 1. Oh, this one's looking really good. See the, look at that. Can you see the buds? Really fresh. This one took really, really well. Really, really, really well. My lens has been really fun. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So this is a cinnamon apple, and I grafted a russet onto it because I really like the old-fashioned russet apples and their taste. There's one more graft out here that is actually so healthy it started to bloom. But where I put it, I have no idea. I tried to put 1 or 2 on all the apple trees just to see which rootstock, which apple tree I'd like the best. And some of these apple trees, I don't even know what they are. Oh, here's a really hopeful one. You can see it literally is gonna bloom. That's great. Those some juicy buds on that graft. That's gonna work well. And a lot of these little apple trees, I don't know what they are because we've been here 3 years, and they were apple trees that were already here when we moved in, so they're kind of identifiable. Oh, look at that. That's really hopeful. You see the green on the tip there? Yeah, that's gonna be a good graft. So yeah, so you use your tool and you create what I explained earlier, and then you squeeze it together, and then you gently and tightly wrap your tape around it. And I usually went up and down the stem 2 or 3 times, and at least 3 to 4 inches in both directions from where the graft came together, and then tied it off. I tied it off with a stick. This was just a fun experiment to see if the apple would survive on the pear. We'll see what happens with that. It looks like it's alive. I can see some life coming out of this. That'll be fun to see though. And then after I got the grafting tape wrapped really well and it was secure, you know, a bird can land on it or the wind could blow really hard, and then you're gonna lose, it's gonna come apart, you're gonna lose the whole graft. And that's where I went in and secured it with the twine. So I wrapped the twine around the center point and then tie it, not knot it fully, but give it a good, tie, and then bring it around, tie, bring it around, tie it, and then knot it at the end. And that made it secure enough that the grafts weren't getting knocked off by the birds or the wind. And it also, like I said, helped to keep the rain from penetrating the grafting tape or plastic. And that way, we didn't, you're not going to have the rot. No grafting on this little apple tree. I I must not have. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I must have been really tired this day because this is actually a plum tree. It's a prune, it's an Italian prune, and I put an apple graft on that. It looks like it's gonna do okay. Looks like it's coming to life. Oy, oy, oy. So you can tell this is when I was getting frustrated before I learned how to do it, because this is the crappy white grafting tape. And I was just tired that day, and I wrapped it around really hard, and I tied it, and now I'm like, roar! And it doesn't even have any of the twine on it, but it survived. I can see it's coming to life, so it's gonna be interesting to see the apple growing off of the, wow, this one's doing really well. An apple growing off of a prune. It's another one right here. Now this is interesting. I don't know where my mind was this day, because I don't even recognize this graft. It definitely is not one that came in the mail. Oh, Lordy riddle. That's what, oh, this one's doing really well. This one's coming out. This is definitely an apple of some kind. I don't know where my mind was that day, but that's what Lyme disease does to you. Just kind of, some days you're all here and some days you're half here, but I'm just glad to get through the day. Oh, this is exciting. So it doesn't look super, super healthy, but we're a little cold up here for her. And she was really established. And I moved her from the other property when she was already a couple years in the ground. But this is a Cara orange. They're really hard to find now. Almost, they were impossible to get when everyone got into gardening during the pandemic. And so she's been in the ground about 2 years now, 2.5 years. And I think she's finally gonna grow and do better this summer, but she's blooming, which is really exciting. She's full of little flowers right now. I wouldn't say any of my citrus is the pinnacle of health, because we live in the mountains and it's a strange microclimate that can go from 9B/10ish, but then we also have cold enough nights and hard enough frosts that we have stone fruit, like really good stone fruit, thus all the pears and apples up here. Okay, so that is my little introduction for you to grafting. And why did I start grafting? Well, there's a lot of cool old mountain people up here that may have varieties of apples and different fruit trees that no one else has, some of the antique varieties, and I wanted to be prepared for that if I ever meet them and encounter something that I don't have. And the price of fruit trees right now, it's just getting so crazy, like everything. I mean, you're looking at between bare root, between 30, if you're lucky here, they're starting out at $50 or $60, and up to, $200 with shipping, depending what you're trying to get. And so what the grafting gives you the ability to do, if you have any pre-established trees, is to get a variety of fruit for a fraction of the cost with a little bit of effort and love. This lime tree's really, really grown out a lot. She did really well over the winter. I've been really happy with this lime tree. Yep. Looks like, oh, got a broken branch here. Got to come out and take care of that. Always something. Always, always, always something. This dwarf nectarine, such a beauty. When she was in her perfect stage of blooming out, she literally looked like a bouquet of flowers. She's going to make some really nice nectarines. She's a really good tree. I was very proactive this season and started spraying for the leaf curl and other things that my peaches and nectarines are really susceptible to. And I started spraying for them really early this year, just before the tree woke up, and then as the buds were coming out, because I did all that last year and it just wasn't enough. And I've been trying to use copper, and the copper didn't seem like it was sufficient enough either. But I'm trying to be as organic as possible. So someone told me that they worked at an organic nursery, and what they used was kaolin clay, which is very affordable. And I kind of like the idea of the kaolin clay because it helps to keep, really sticks to the leaves and the plant better, especially during the rainy season. So what I did as an experiment was a mixture of my copper powder mixed with the kaolin clay, and I sprayed that very aggressively until the buds of the flowers formed, because I didn't want to take a chance of getting the bees sick. And so far, so good. So far, so good. And I'm going to continue with that because it seems like they really healed from how sick they were. They really healed the nectarines and peaches immensely. And unlike last year, right now, I am not seeing many signs of leaf curl or any disease. So I really feel the combination of the kaolin clay powder and the copper powder together was the magic bullet. This is a fig tree, and I think because I didn't plant it, it's just a basic mission fig, so it'll be exciting to see what happens. But I just got this cool French fig variety that's supposed to taste a lot like honey vanilla, and it's a green fig with beautiful stripes. And I got several grafts going. Just did this the other day, and I haven't sealed the tips yet. I like to seal when there's really woody like this. I like to seal the tips with a little bit of lanolin with some gibberellic acid powder mixed in it. I've had some really good luck with that, putting it on the wounds of the trees and what have you. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions or any advice, I love it. Put them in the comment box, and I'm one of those few YouTubers who will actually respond to your comments. I actually take the time. I'm very responsible that way. If you like my quick money-saving tips, garden wisdom, rants, raves, and occasional art and magic, please subscribe. It helps. Happy Easter.